Okay, we're going to continue looking at halogen reactions, and the type of reaction we're going to look at here is a disproportionation reaction. And a disproportionation reaction is a redox reaction where the same element is both oxidized and reduced. And the examples we're going to look at is reactions of chlorine. So the first reaction we're going to look at is when chlorine is added to water. And as we know, chlorine is usually added to water to kill off any harmful bacteria. And we're going to look at how it does that. So first things first, let's write out the equation and the products that form. So chlorine is dissolved in water. And what this does is it forms two acids. So the first one is this one, and then this one, so both aqueous. Okay, so this one here, so HClO, is called chloric acid. Okay, and this one here, as we know, is called hydrochloric acid. Okay, so it's only going to be a small quantity of chlorine that's added, so it's not going to make, it shouldn't make a huge harmful difference in terms of the acidity of the solution. But it is the chloric acid that kills the harmful bacteria. Okay, so the chloric acid is the main component that kills off bacteria. You should also know that chloric acid is also has a bleaching effect. Okay, so if we were to add damp blue litmus paper into this solution here, damp blue litmus paper, firstly because it's under acidic conditions, should turn a red colour, but after turning red it then should bleach white, and the reason for that is the chloric acid. Okay, let's show that this is a disproportionation reaction by putting in oxidation numbers. So chlorine here is 0, so hydrogen is +1, oxygen is -2, hydrogen is still +1. This is now +1 as well, +1 and -1. Okay, as we can see, the hydrogens stay the same, the oxygen stay the same. It is just chlorine that has changed, and it's changed once here. It's going from 0 to +1. It's lost electrons, or lost an electron, and therefore it's been oxidized. And going again from chlorine to this one here, it's gone from 0 to -1, it's gained an electron, and therefore has been reduced. Okay, so in this equation here, in this reaction here, chlorine has been both oxidized and reduced, and that's why this is an example of a disproportionation reaction. Okay, the other one that we need to know is when we add chlorine to cold dilute sodium hydroxide. So cold dilute sodium hydroxide, and it's got to be aqueous. Okay, the cold and dilute is important here because if it's not, another reaction can occur. So let's do chlorine in these. So sodium hydroxide, that's aqueous. This is going to form sodium chlorate, sodium chloride, and I'll just write down here water as well, and just to balance that. Got that. Okay. So over here, the sodium chlorate is also going to give off chlorate ions. So this is the major component in bleach. So sodium chlorate, so this reaction is basically how we make bleach. This is the main component in bleach. And this is essentially how bleach is made. Okay, so we form sodium chlorate, sodium chloride, and water. In terms of oxidation numbers, I'm just going to put them in for chlorine. So chlorine is 0 there. If this is +1, this is -2. This one here must be +1, and here it's -1. So again, in terms of what's changed, chlorine goes from 0 to +1. It's lost an electron and therefore been oxidized. And again, chlorine, I'm just going to go all the way around here. Over here, it's gone from 0 to -1. It's gained an electron and therefore been reduced. Okay, so again, these two equations here of chlorine reacting with water and then with cold dilute sodium hydroxide, you need to know those off by heart and also be able to explain why they are disproportionation reactions. Okay, The other thing you need to be able to discuss is the advantages and disadvantages of adding chlorine to water. So the major advantage of adding chlorine to water is that it kills harmful bacteria. Okay, and what that does is it prevents a widespread of diseases. So the diseases that it can kill off or prevent are stuff like typhoid and cholera. So these are waterborne diseases, so they're transmitted through dirty water. So major advantages is that it stops the spread of typhoid and cholera. In terms of the disadvantages, when we add chlorine to water, if there are any hydrocarbons present in the water, what it can do is form chlorinated hydrocarbons. So they can have a reaction with the hydrocarbons and form chlorinated hydrocarbons, and these are suspected of causing cancer. Okay, so this is a disadvantage of adding chlorine to water.